So the Eagles somehow, some way, beat the Saints today, and we'll get into how I think they did it. So without further ado, let's fall into it. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the offensive side of the ball. First, in part, due to the fact that Jalen's 2 turnovers, okay, the fumble, okay, that's completely his fault. But in terms of the one to Devontae Smith, I honestly think that was on Devontae Smith. A lot of other people think that. I'm one of them. But I mean, stuff happens. So for that, I mean, I'll give Jalen a B minus. I mean, he still had 311 yards, 29 for 38, 8 rushes for 25 yards. I think in the second half he really cleaned it up. His pass selection was better, but obviously in the second half, Devontae Smith was hit dirty. Even C.J. Gardner-Johnson said it, that it was a cheap shot and that the Saints were playing dirty. I absolutely agree with that. And I mean, for the most part of the game, I mean, we had like 5 or 6 penalties called on us, and they only had 1 penalty for like 5 yards. And I was just like, man, I mean, there's got to be something up with that. It's like, I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref. I'm just like, man, it's ridiculous. But again, going with the offense, Saquon Barkley, he had 147 yards, 8.6 per carry. He had 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. He had 4 receptions for 9 yards. A plus 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 for him, more than made up for the previous game. Dallas Goedert, 170 yards, 17 yards like average, and that was off of 10 receptions. Man, absolute beast. Devontae Smith, he had 7 receptions for 79 yards. I mean, it looked like he was knocked out cold, so I would definitely say, out with a concussion, things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, B minus, I'd say. But, I hope he gets good and all that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, oh, but he cost him the thing, that's what he gets, like I'm not that kind of fan. I wish him the best. I hope he heals fast, and hopefully, he's available for next week, but we'll get into that here in a second. Paris Campbell, he had 2 receptions for 13 yards. I'll give him like a D or a C. Pause, no Diddy, just to be safe. Gainwell, Covey, and Dotson, they had like a couple things of that nature. I think Gainwell was like, I think it was like 1 reception for like 12 yards, and he had like a couple like rushing attempts, and then Covey had like that one clutch 11-yarder, and then Johnny Wilson, he had a 1 9-yarder that was a pretty clutch, and then Dotson, he had 2 receptions for 8 yards. So I think that's kind of trending upwards, or however, at least the ball is definitely getting around and things of that nature. But I mean, again, Jalen has to play cleaner. So, that being said, we'll get into the defensive side. Zach Bond, again, he showed out. He had 9 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles, so that's 13 tackles total throughout the game. Nakobe Dean had 5 tackles, 3 assisted tackles. He had a pretty good game. That's C.J. Gardner-Johnson's, my bad. Nakobe Dean, he had 3 tackles, 5 assists. Jalen Carter had 3 tackles, 1 assist. And then Quinyon Mitchell, he had 3 tackles, 1 assist, and then he had like multiple clutch PBUs. He had like that one, and then that other one, or however that wasn't called, or however. So absolutely good to see. Jordan Davis, 2 tackles, 2 assisted, 1 sack. He was looking like a monster, that we haven't seen, since like the first half of last year. So if he can keep it up, absolutely good to see. Milton Williams, he had 2 tackles. Brandon Graham, keep him at same energy. He's not washed yet. He's still a good player. They even had to double team him at some points. Reed Blankenship, 2 tackles. Slay, he had 1 tackle, 1 assist. He got injured towards the end. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Um, Sweat, he had 1 tackle. Nolan Smith, he had 1 tackle. I believe in 1 assist. And then Maddox, he had 1 tackle. Keely Ringo had 1 tackle. Um, and then in terms of what all of that actually did, there was only 90 total rushing yards. 87 by what's his name, Alvin Kamara or whatever his name is, and then 3 by Derek Carr. So for that, I'll give the run defense an A minus, and then 142 total passing yards. I'll give that an A minus. Things of that nature. Obviously, there were some missed opportunities to get picks and things of that nature. Just like literally, just like fell through the hands or however the case. So 232 total yards of offense allowed. So in totality, I mean, I'll give it an A plus. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't have hoped for more. I'm not one of those fans that if they play good, but you could have done it, you could have done that. A plus. As a whole, the defense, you know what I'm saying? What they could have stopped, what they couldn't have stopped, you know what I'm saying? They played pretty freaking good against a 45 point per game team. How the Saints are going to respond, I don't know. You know, I can't tell the future, but all I can say is that we responded pretty well from the loss defensively. I just wish that offensively, we'd be able to heat up and things of that nature. I think that you know what I'm saying. Offensively, you know what I'm saying. I'd probably give the entire offense as a whole probably a C minus. Now, if Jalen would have had that much better of a game, I'd say a B. And then, you know what I'm saying, obviously, people wouldn't have got injured. Obviously, it's not their fault, you know what I'm saying, but it does, harm the offense is the point. Without Devontae Smith, we aren't as good. Especially without Devontae and AJ, we aren't as good. That's just a simple fact. By the way, I'm glad we got the win. Thank God for that. But, yeah, hopefully, we can see a pretty similar defensive performance versus the Buccaneers. Maybe a couple more sacks, maybe a couple more interceptions, but just a couple wishes. But overall, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I still give the defense an A plus. Like I said, Jalen has to be better versus the Bucks. Has to be better consistently. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we can get AJ back or Devontae Smith back versus the Bucks and things of that nature. So, MVPs of the game, I would say. Offensively, I would say either Dallas Goedert or Saquon Barkley. Defensively, I would say Jalen Carter, Reed Blankenship, or Jordan Davis. It would just be hard to say, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously that one interception, if he wouldn't have made that interception or however, that pass to Goddard, it would have made it worth it and all that. Maybe they could have scored an extra touchdown or however, but obviously that didn't happen, so not an MVP of the game. I would say offensive coaching wise, like how I think they called the defense, I would say a D minus, maybe super low C. Between there. Defense, I would say, was called A plus. You know what I'm saying? The 5-man front, I think, is key to the defense having any long-term success, in my personal opinion. Situationally, in terms of what Nick Sirianni did, I'd say either D plus or C minus. I'd say because I actually kicked a field goal and took the 3 for once, or at least attempted the 3, or however the case. You make them, you miss them, stuff happens, but. Next up, I would probably say my final thoughts would be, I think Jalen, was warming up in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, he wasn't looking like, Brett Favre slamming it down the field. You know what I'm saying? But, it looked like he was warming up. It looked like he was making better decisions. It looked like, situationally, he played cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Despite Smitty getting hurt, despite Lane Johnson, despite Becton all going down with individual injuries, which we'll cover here in a bit. But yeah, defense played amazing. 10 out of 10. I mean, versus a flaming hot Saints team, 40-plus points per game. Couldn't have asked for anything more, however the case. Fangio's 5-man front, you know what I'm saying? Like, that individually, you know what I'm saying? Man, I think that's the cure to getting pressure, I think. You know what I'm saying? Coaching adjustments, players stepping up, you know what I'm saying? They stepped up miles defensively, you know what I'm saying? I just need to see to consistently just do it over multiple games, you know what I'm saying, throughout the season. We need that in the playoffs and things of that nature, so just keep building off of it, things of that nature. Hopefully that's what we see. Whatchamacallit, and also, there's a slight chance, I may have been wrong. You know what I'm saying? Who we have in terms of the D line and the edge may just work. My explanation for that is, you know what I'm saying? Their O line was injured. You know what I'm saying? You do have to keep your eyes open to that. You know what I'm saying? So is it just a one-time thing versus a bad O-line? Can we only do it versus bad O-lines? We shall see. I'm not shutting the door. But the fact we can do it at all, you know what I'm saying, versus a high-scoring team, and we were able to stop the run, you know what I'm saying, they still had Alvin Kamara. That's why it's 50-50 on both sides. I'm being fair. I am an Eagles fan, but Alvin Kamara is a beast. He did have 4 touchdowns, things of that nature. But overall, like I said, I'm not blind to the fact that they were injury plagued, you know what I'm saying, just as much as us in terms of the trenches. And trenches are where games are won, in my personal opinion. So, but coaching on offense probably, or however, comparatively in terms of play by play, was probably about 10, 15, maybe 20% at certain times. Better than what it was last week. Last week was F minus, however the case may be. The defense, coaching, or have the 5-man front. Like I said, it's the key to doing anything this year. Situationally, in my personal opinion, I would say it looked maybe 5 to 10% better situationally. You know what I'm saying? We at least attempted a field goal. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a little bit smarter. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty good adjustment. You know what I'm saying? With AJ, Smitty, Lane Johnson, Mekhi Becton. You know what I'm saying? With all the guys out. You know what I'm saying? It was still pretty smart to activate Goddard. You know what I'm saying? And everyone said, "Oh, he's average." Myself included. Like, "Oh, dang, it's probably not that good." I mean, why do we have him? I said that. I was wrong. And at the end of the video, or however, I will admit all the things I was wrong about thus far that this game has proved, because this is a very competent team in the Saints that we faced, and what happened is fair and square. So that they had more penalties, called on us, which helped them, or however. So, but yeah, last but not least, Jalen just needs game reps, or however, because like I said, it looks like he was starting to warm up towards the second half. Like, right as the second half, however, it looked that he was making better decisions. Looks like he was warming up in the system. And, the Saints were having a good defense, or however, throughout the whole game. Consistently, the Saints played pretty darn good defense. So it was hard to get guys open. It's not like people were just wide open, or however the case may be. I know winning cures all, so I don't know exactly. Tell me what you guys think about Jalen Hurts after everything. You know what I'm saying? The good pass to Goddard, you know what I'm saying? The smart run in, or however, the 2 points, you know what I'm saying? He could have been prideful or whatever and did an audible at the line so he could run it, get tackled, whatever the case may be. I think, that was a smart call, or however, the 2-point conversion. I think that was smart coaching and execution. And then same thing for the defense. The defense was called. I think they answered the call. But, yeah, overall, I mean, which is why, in terms of this case, C minus, D, or however. As a matter of fact, the more I think about it, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the very same. This ain't even 24 hours after the fact. This is only like 4 or 5 hours after the fact, maybe, if that. But anyways, that being said, situationally, C. Not C minus, not C plus, just C. I think that was an average coaching. The average coach could probably pull it off with the talent. Devontae Smith for like for almost the entire game, or however. Saquon Barkley, pretty dang good O-line. Even the backups played pretty good, in my personal opinion. Cam Jurgens, I don't think any fouls or any penalties were on him this game, so good stuff on him, absolutely. To Jalen's credit, he did audible successfully a few times, you know what I'm saying? Like where the alignment changed or however, and he was like calling something, and everyone was like kind of like looking at him or however. Like there were a few times where, it looked like he was audible. And like I said, he still needs to play better, you know what I'm saying? But again, he did look better against the blitz consistently, even throughout the third week. He still threw for 300 passing yards. Still had an 88 passer rating. Needs to play better. Absolutely, needs to play better. I'm not running from that fact. I have his jersey on. I love him. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into that a little bit later in terms of explanations. But, yeah, in terms of a post-game injury report, it was Lane Johnson, pretty sure concussion. That's what the announcers were saying. Devontae Smith I mean, he looked knocked out cold on the field or however, so that appears to be a concussion. Obviously, A.J. Brown with a hamstring, Mekhi Becton with a hand is what he was saying. He was like testing at his arm or however like this. It looked like. Pause, no Diddy, just to be safe. And then Britton Covey with a shoulder. In terms of the Mekhi and Lane thing, maybe just sign or trade somebody or however that is at least solid. Because I think Cam is like really good. I think Jordan Mailata is really good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just really depends on how this week of practice goes and how they're feeling. They also said it looks like Lane Johnson wasn't feeling well, so I don't know if it was like a sickness or something. I have no idea. But A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Covey. A.J. Brown or Smitty, or at least one of them has to come back for the Bucks game, because 3-1, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least we at least need one of them. We at least need one of them. Dotson has a wide receiver one or however. I mean, that's probably what they try to do if both of them miss or however the case. But I hope not. But I mean, overall, depending on how practice goes, attendance-wise, I don't care about, this guy looks going to practice. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of how it goes attendance-wise, like, A.J. Brown was a full participant, Devontae Smith was a full participant. However the case may be, you know what I'm saying? I just hope that, we'll see AJ and Smitty and everybody, back in practice, ASAP. So hopefully, the defense's momentum carries on into next week and things of that nature. Hopefully more picks, more defensive turnovers, just overall consistency from the D-line, because that's what I believe allows everything else to happen. Offensively, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that, obviously Jalen Hurts has got to be better. He has 6 turnovers, currently leading the league. Currently. You know what I'm saying? But he is showing that he is better than the blitz, and he is showing improvements in decision-making, in my opinion, in the second half. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the second half he was a lot smoother with the ball. He was a lot more accurate. I believe he was warming up. I think, it truly is a game-to-game thing, however. I'm not going to turn my back on him just yet. During the game, you know what I'm saying, I did overreact or however on Facebook. Things of that nature, however. But, man, it's just because, like, man, $50 million for that, it's aggravating sometimes. I have faith in him. You know what I'm saying? We're stuck with him. We could have a heck of a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? But I think when it comes to Jalen, he may F up sometimes. He may screw up. But in terms of that, he can win. And, he just needs help around him. I think he messes up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? May not be the best at this or that or whatever, but he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. So, not going to write Jalen Hurts off yet. I still think Nick Sirianni has to go. I also think, the offense and coaching being Kellen Moore, however, on the offensive side, I just think they need to build chemistry in terms of play calling, when to call this, when to call that, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I think I honestly don't know. I need to see more in terms of that, but I am going to stick with the original part. I do think they need to build chemistry and things of that nature in terms of the play calling. Jalen Hurts, like I said, I think he just needs reps or however with good coaching, you know what I'm saying? Not just a new coordinator every year, you know what I'm saying? I think that's how we'll see, like, the biggest jumps of improvement, you know what I'm saying? Just give him the season, and I think, by the end, I'm pretty sure we'll be impressed with what we see. 2-1 could be worse, you know what I'm saying? So, that being said, hopefully next game, we can dominate, maybe like a 2-touchdown lead, maybe the offense, can have a clean game, show us that they're gelling better, a week is a long time, I mean, there's a lot of practice, a lot of throws that can happen, you know what I'm saying, you never know who will be on the injury list, off of it, just got cleared, in the game, off the game, you know what I'm saying, and there's still a whole week, till the next game, till the Bucks, and then the bye week, obviously. Hopefully, like I said, Jalen, hopefully he has no freaking turnovers and things of that nature. But in terms of this game, I think the wide receivers had a pretty good game. The tight ends, had a pretty good game. Jack Stoll was blocking. Obviously, 170 yards for Dallas Goedert, absolute beast. Jalen Hurts, he was heating up passing-wise in the second half. I was noticing, in my personal opinion, feel free to disagree. It's America. Not to say everyone has to have the same opinion. Comment down below if you agree, disagree, or however. I mean, in my opinion, second half he was looking better, passing-wise, or however the case. Then, he had, like I said, he had that long pass to Goddard. that made it 1st and goal. And then he had those passes to Devontae Smith prior to the injury or have, which again, even C.J. Gardner-Johnson agrees that it was a dirty hit because I was thinking like, man, that's a freaking dirty hit. Like, man, like that was not clean. But yeah, hopefully him heating up in the second half, the momentum carries forward into the next game versus the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I'm so harsh on the team is because I just love, football, specifically the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I bought jerseys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've bought game tickets. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see my team win Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? If you have a $500 million offense, you have Pro Bowl wide receivers, Pro Bowl running backs, Pro Bowl O-line. You know what I'm saying? And potentially, if they can play like this consistently, a Pro Bowl D-line, if they can play like this consistently. If they can play like that consistently. Obviously we shall see if they can. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, we just got to see a clean game by the offense. We've seen a good game by the defense. Hopefully, we can see a good game by the offense and the defense. A nice balanced game where we win. You know what I'm saying? And build off of it. And just, I guess build off of it. I guess that's about it. But I think my only questions carrying into the Bucks game is, like I was saying, can the defense do it again? Was it just them going up against an injury-ridden O-line? Is that the case? I do not know. I mean, we still faced Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? Still had 87 yards. All respect given. You know what I'm saying? But can Hurts step up? Can he play a clean game? Because in my opinion, I've been watching a little bit of the Bucks and things of that nature, and in my opinion, the Saints defense is a lot better than the Buccaneers defense, in my personal opinion. Obviously, things can change week to week, but based on what we've seen, throughout the past couple weeks, I've seen the Saints play better defense, in my opinion. Can Nick coach a good game situationally? Can he figure out, hey, if this is the situation or however, how can I be an advantage to them by calling this or however, having this wisdom? Can he do it? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? With this win, can we like I was just saying, can we have a balanced game next week? You know what I'm saying? Where the defense looks good, the offense looks good. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just flashes, that's all we've been seeing lately is just flashes and the potential of the offense. You know what I'm saying? Dallas Goedert's 170-yard game off of 10 receptions. That's talent. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he one-hand grabbed it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a bad pass, however, but he one-hand grabbed it or however. You know what I'm saying? 1st and goal. And then obviously, all of Saquon Barkley's 100-yard games. I'm pretty sure he's averaging 100 and something yards a game. I'm pretty sure 20-something touches a game. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, and the last most important question is: will the offense heat up next week, or will they heat up at all? That's the only other question. The defense is starting to make noise. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, will the offense start to make noise? Because it looks like they're all struggling bad. Struggling to get open, struggling to catch, you know what I'm saying? And in terms of Jalen, it looks like Jalen's struggling. I'm not blind to it. I'm not going to say, Jalen's an angel, blah, 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 blah. Obviously he's my favorite player on the team, or however his personality and all that, he's funny or whatever the case may be. But, in terms of on the field, he hasn't been playing very well for the past 3 weeks. In the second half, he started looking like a pretty darn good passer in the second half. You know what I'm saying? That pass to Goddard, you know what I'm saying? And then the couple other passes that one to Britton Covey or however. The couple throws to Saquon or however the case, and the couple audibles that he did or however. Like I said, I mean, overall, I believe in Jalen. I just think he needs to step it up and be more accurate, essentially. I don't know if it is warming up, but that's what it looks like to me, is that he just needs to warm up. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I still got a couple more things to say before I go. I got to apologize to a couple players. You know what I'm saying? And this is me eating crow and me being wrong. Jordan Davis, or however the case may be, if he can keep playing like this, or however, he did not look tired for one snap out there. Obviously, you got to be breathing hard, or however, but I didn't see him on the oxygen, or however. He looked refreshed the whole game. I don't know how he did it. You know what I'm saying? So, to Fangio, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, or however the case, I questioned him. I didn't really insult him. I just questioned him. And then most of the D-line. Maybe I was too harsh after last year. You know what I'm saying? just, buying jerseys, buying tickets, you know what I'm saying? When I can afford them and things of that nature. It's just like I'm even more critical. Like, come on, man, like when I go to see the game or however, like for instance, I'm going to the Carolina game or however, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I want us to blow them out, I mean, I tried to choose possibly the easiest matchup or however, so it'll be probably a for sure blowout. But obviously nothing's for sure factually or however, just mentally, I figured that'd be the best possible game to go to, but yeah, I love my Eagles. You know what I'm saying? It was a great day for the defense. It was a decent day for the offense. Like I said, 170 yards or however for Goddard, 140 for Saquon. Like I said, 311 passing yards and only 2 turnovers or however the case. Tom Brady, I mean, he threw 6 turnovers. He threw 6 interceptions in one game. I mean, at least it took Jalen 3. You know what I'm saying? I mean. And we were playing a pretty darn good team. And I don't think, he made that many bad plays. I mean, I just think nothing was open or however the case. I mean, he threw it out of bounds a couple times. He ran it out of bounds a couple times or however the case. But I mean, overall, I mean, I have 2 hot takes for the day. I believe versus the Bucks, we're going to get 3 interceptions by the Eagles defense, obviously. And I'm hoping, I'm a pray, I'm a manifest that hopefully the Eagles will look like we expect offensively versus the Bucks, and things of that nature. So hopefully, we do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, but yeah, I mean, all I can do is hope or however, and try to manifest it or however the case. But yeah, hopefully, Jalen has like a 300-yard game or however the case, but more touchdowns and more end zone finds and no interceptions, no turnovers on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? And then hopefully that'll warm him up or however. Hopefully he can just build the momentum off of what he did in the second half today, and then just keep continuing it and just keep getting warmed up. So yeah, I just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and the post-game show and things of that nature. I just want to thank God for this opportunity to voice my opinion. I just want to thank God that we won and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? God, family, first and foremost, obviously God, you know what I'm saying? Then my family, and then, Eagles football, you know what I'm saying? And my priorities and passions, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I go so hard for my Eagles, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? I just love my Eagles, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm just so passionate about my Eagles. And I know I can be harsh sometimes, and I can say this, that, or the other, however, but it's just because I want my Philadelphia Eagles to win championships and to be great. You know what I'm saying? We have the offensive firepower, and it's looking like, injuries mixed with a little bit of coaching. I still believe, the backups that we had, could have been maybe utilized a little better. Obviously, Jalen Hurts can play better. I give you that 1,000 billion %. Jalen Hurts needs to play better, especially when the main guys are out. And maybe that's what they're practicing. Maybe they're getting that out the way offensively. And then maybe coming into the playoffs or however, I don't know. It's too late for conspiracy theories or however the case may be, but if you guys want me to have a channel or however about like Philadelphia sports conspiracy theories or however the case regarding Philadelphia Eagles, I can do that or however I will, like, oh dang, maybe this, maybe that, you know what I'm saying, to give, hope to, everybody if we're not doing the hottest or whatever the case. So yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, thank God, you know what I'm saying, for this opportunity. Like I said, God bless Philly out. Peace.